planning my many days just spent on the sofa. Me and my friends were saying yesterday that sometimes I come back from Christmas, like a week of doing nothing at home, and I'm like, I should have done even less. Like I should have exerted even less energy. And I feel to maximise your time sitting on your bum on the sofa, you need to have some good films up your sleeve to watch, which means it's the perfect time for our meeting of the Film Club, where we have a look at all the best films hitting the big screens, as well as what films you could be watching from the comfort of your own home. And joining me this week in the Film Club is Victoria Luxford. Victoria, thank you so much for coming on.
No problem at all. Thanks for having me.
It's fab to have you. Now, are you the same as me over Christmas, Victoria, that you're kind of already planning on just sitting on that sofa and watching back-to-back films?
Oh yes, absolutely. I think it's almost like an advent calendar where we have a film almost every day. There are certain films that have to be shown on Christmas Eve. There are certain types of films that have to be on Christmas Day. Yes, it's all very structured.
What is your Christmas Eve one? Because there's one in my family house that has to be watched every Christmas Eve, or my mum will maybe cease to exist.
Yes, my one is the 1970 version of Scrooge with Albert Finney. It's been a tradition in my wife's family for as long as she's been around, and as soon as we got together, it became my tradition as well.
Oh, that's so lovely. Ours is Muppet Christmas Carol, which it's still good year after year. But you have got some films that we can watch in the Christmas period. That's a break from Christmas viewing, but when you still just want to sit on the sofa, getting through your quality streets, or if you want to venture out into the big wide world in the betwixt period, and have something to go to. So you've got a cinema recommendation and something we can watch at home. Let's start with your first choice about what we could watch in the cinema. It's called Ferrari. What can you tell us about this film?
Well, it's in cinemas Boxing Day, so perfect for that post-Christmas period. Adam Driver plays the famous car designer Enzo Ferrari as he tries to save his company by winning a dangerous road race.
Ooh, now I'll be honest with you, Victoria. I'm not a car fan. Like if you pointed a car at me, I don't think I could name what it was. Do you need to be into your cars to like this film, or is it more the story behind the person behind the car?
You'll be happy to know that I also know absolutely nothing about cars.
Perfect.
But even I found it fascinating to see the pressure on someone so respected, a national treasure in Italy, obviously, as well as the personal issues, which make for some very emotional scenes. This is directed by Michael Mann, who know from Miami Vice, Heat, and lots of other sort of very tense films. So he knows how to build up the pressure, but he also knows how to bring out some amazing performances. Adam Driver, of course, in the lead role. I think he's one of the best actors around at the moment, a very intense, very believable actor. And Penelope Cruz as Ferrari's wife in the midst of sort of a dark time in their relationship. I think the personal scenes are as thrilling as anything that happens on the track. But even if you don't really know anything about cars, I think you can really it comes across how dangerous these early days of racing were and how thrilling the life of a racer, I suppose, was.
I think there's also something in, like you look at the success of that Netflix show, is it called Drive to Survive? That's about Formula One, and that's brought loads of people into the sport that would have never thought they were interested in cars. But it is as soon as you hear the stories behind races that kind of draw you in even more, especially in this case when it's already an incredible story. Is it one of those ones, Victoria, that you were leaving watching it and kind of going through Wikipedia thinking, surely that bit isn't true, or like, surely that can't be correct?
Yes, absolutely. And I think I came away with more of a respect for these drivers. I'm not sure I'll be an F1 fan anytime soon, but I think a great story explains something that you may not be aware of on an emotional level, on a human level, and it does it so brilliantly. And as I say, the acting also conveys just this very interesting character who has a lot on his shoulders and how he navigates this sort of impossibly pressured life.
Who would you recommend this film to?
Of course, racing fans, but I think also people who just love well acted kind of award season dramas.
Amazing. Well, that is Ferrari. It's out in cinemas on Boxing Day. So, as Victoria was saying, perfect if you want to venture out into the world between Christmas and New Year. And Victoria, you're also going to talk us through something we can watch from the comfort of our own sofa after this. We gathered the film club. We're chatting to Victoria Luxford, and she is talking us through her recommendations of what we can be watching this Christmas. She's already recommended Ferrari, which is a movie out in cinemas on Boxing Day. But if you're feeling like a trip to the cinema is still a little bit too much for you, you want to stay in your pajamas, eating trifle from the bowl at 9 a.m, watching a movie, then Victoria has a recommendation of what we can be watching from the comfort of our own sofa as well. Victoria, you are recommending Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. Tell us about this film.
Yes, it's on Disney Plus now, and Harrison Ford returns for one last time to find a mysterious artifact helped by Phoebe Waller-Jones as a face from his past.
And what did you make of this in terms of the latest Indiana Jones?
I thought this was a lot of fun. For me, I think Indiana Jones films are great to watch around Christmas time. They're full of adventure, they're full of fun, they're full of, marvelous action scenes. And this has all of those factors that you'd want from these types of films. It's likely to be Harrison Ford's final film in the role, but I think he and Phoebe Waller-Bridge make a absolutely wonderful duo, just sort of trading barbs with each other. I don't think we pretend that Harrison Ford isn't, in his 80s now. It's a very realistic take on the character, but also brings out the best of, for me, what I liked about Indiana Jones, for what I liked about these movies, and what I need from a big Hollywood adventure film.
What are those things that you feel that was brought out, which is what you love about these movies and what you need from a Hollywood adventure?
I think, big action scenes, a little bit of fun, a little bit of humor there, traveling all across the world, although a lot of locations in the UK substituted. I know Glasgow substituted for 1960s New York, and I know a lot of different places in England played, quote unquote, other parts of the world. But it feels like a globe-trotting adventure. It brings out this kind of very flawed but also very lovable rogue in Indiana Jones. I think probably one of the greatest Hollywood characters, certainly in mainstream film. And it introduces Phoebe Waller-Bridge's character in such a natural way that doesn't sort of feel like anyone is being replaced, but grows the story rather than taking away from it. I thought it was really good fun.
It sounds great. I mean, I find it interesting what you're saying about all the different cities in the UK that kind of substituted for places. My friend's brother was actually an extra when they were filming it in Glasgow, because they were looking for people to do like a scene with lots of like student protests. So apparently they filmed like a few of them, and then they copied his face like 100 times, and you can see his face like in an entire crowd. There's like something like 50 of him or something mad like that. So I want to watch it for that alone, to kind of see the 50 versions of my friend's brother. But it also just sounds like something that everyone would enjoy. It seems like something if you're sitting and watching something with your family. I don't know about you, Victoria, but I feel like sometimes when me and my family are trying to watch something, we're trying to put like four people's completely different movie tastes together, and it seems like this is one of those films that kind of bridges the gap between everyone.
Absolutely. Christmas is always a democracy when it comes to film choices, and I think you need a crowd pleaser. This is definitely that. Bad guys to boo, good guys to cheer, lots of wonder and mystery. I think this is going to please almost everyone in the family.
Amazing. Well, Victoria, if people want to find more of you, more of your movie recommendations, where can they go to?
You can find me on Instagram at VLFilm.
Perfect. Victoria, have a fabulous Christmas and enjoy Scrooge when you get to it.
Thank you very much. You too.